All right, guys. This is Dan Foster back with the next episode of 2022 NASCAR Cup Series team reviews. In this episode, I'm going to be covering Trackhouse Racing. This was a two-car operation that had Daniel Suarez returning in the 99 Chevrolet this season and adding Ross Chastain in the one car that they actually ended up purchasing from Chip Ganassi Racing, and moved him from the 42 essentially is what they ended up doing. So this team had the 1 and the 99. So the 1 to 99, that was kind of their slogan for the year. Um, Season didn't get off to a great start, especially for Ross Chastain. He did not advance to the main event at the Busch Light Clash at the Coliseum. He did not advance to the top. I think it was the top 23, top 24 cars in that race. That was a temporary, small, little, tiny track, so obviously they couldn't run the full 36. But he did not qualify for the main event, and then unfortunately he finished dead last, 40th place in the Daytona 500 after an early race crash, and kind of relegated him to finish in the rear. But starting with race 2, they kind of picked up from there. Over the first 5 races of the season, they collectively, Daniel Suarez and Ross Chastain, earned 5 top 5s and 6 top 10s through the first 5 races. That was including their second and fourth place finishes at Atlanta, where they both finished in the top 5 there for the first time ever as a two-car team. This was kind of a precursor to the following weekend at the Circuits of the Americas race, where they pretty much dominated the whole entire race from start to finish. They ended up leading 46 of the 69 laps en route to Ross Chastain getting his first career and the team's first career win, celebrating with his now famous watermelon smash. This is something that he's done with the Xfinity Series and the Truck Series when he races and wins races there, that he basically smashes a watermelon at start-finish line. Kind of like an homage to his family heritage, being watermelon farmers here in the state of Florida. Just 4 short weeks after that, at Talladega, Ross Chastain earned his second career win, again with a watermelon smash at the start-finish line to celebrate. Unfortunately, those races and the next few races weren't too great for Daniel Suarez. Over those 10 races, starting with Coda through the race before Sonoma, he only had 1 top 10 finish out of all 10 races, which actually was just a 10th place finish. So he was just barely inside the top 10 for that 1 top 5. This didn't really affect him. He still came out and raced hard, and he was running competitively, just didn't get the finish that he was looking for. But that all did change at Sonoma. Like I said, he came in and actually got his first career win as well at Sonoma. That's this past year, with his now celebration of bashing a pinata. So you got Daniel Suarez who bashes pinatas. You got Ross Chastain that smashes watermelons. So this team just loves to bust stuff open when they win. So they want to bust into victory lane. During this little segment of the season, unfortunately, Ross Chastain was kind of given the reputation of being a little over aggressive, and especially early in the season, the first 10 races or so, kind of it got to the point to where a lot of drivers were kind of talking bad about how aggressive he was, and the fact that they felt like he wasn't really running with giving the other drivers the respect, especially Denny Hamlin. Him and Denny Hamlin had a few little incidents on track where Ross would just run in a little hotter in the corner, get into Denny a little bit, and just really not make Denny happy with how he got past or how he was raced, basically. This kind of all boiled over at Gateway, where he again got in a little hot in the corner, got into Denny Hamlin, and Denny didn't appreciate it. Same kind of thing happened actually with Ross Chastain and Chase Elliott. Chase Elliott obviously was not happy about it. So basically, Chase Elliott and Denny Hamlin both kind of retaliated a little bit and kind of ran Chase or Ross, sorry, a little harder than they normally would. Thankfully, there was no off-track incidents between any of the drivers involved, and they kind of just decided to let things go for a bit and settle their disputes. Even though Denny pretty much always said Ross has one coming, so it really never got a finish to it per se. But it kind of just settled and died down as far as the rivalry between them. So Daniel Suarez has his win at Sonoma. Ross Chastain has his 2 wins at Coda and Talladega. They're both locked into the playoffs. Going into the playoff, like start at the end of the regular season, they weren't really winning any races, but they were still finishing competitive top 5, top 10s, and just overall showing that, hey, we're going to be around in the playoffs for a bit. Earlier in the season, they did announce, I guess it's a team project, I guess is what you would call it, called Project 91. And this was basically going to be a third car that they were going to bring to the track. They originally announced for just one race at Watkins Glen, which was the race before the season finale. The regular season finale, sorry, at Daytona. They did not announce who the driver was going to be, but they did say that this was going to be a project that they were going to kind of focus on international drivers from other series like F1, supercars, Formula E, Formula 2, stuff like that. So I mean, it was something that Justin Marks, as a team owner, wanted to kind of focus and bring other drivers from other series to NASCAR, let them try it out, see how they do, and kind of go from there. They did later announce in the season that Kimi Räikkönen was going to be their driver for the road course race at Watkins Glen. This was going to be their only race of 2022, and it was just going to be a one-off. Since Kimi has ran in the Truck Series and Xfinity Series before, they felt that it would be a good way to kind of kick off their program with him. He did not get the results he was looking for at that race. He did run decent throughout most of the race. I would say he was running anywhere between 20th to 25th for the majority of the event that he was there. But he did get into a little bit of a skirmish with another driver going through the bus stop or the back chicane, whatever you want to call it there, the inner loop, and ended up wrecking his car and being out of the race, finishing 37th. That was, like I said, the race before the regular season finale. After the regular season finale, points reset. The playoffs were seeded, basically. The playoff drivers were seeded 1 through 16. Ross Chastain, with his incredible season so far, was seeded as the third place driver, and Daniel Suarez, was seeded 13th. Both looking for good shots, basically, or as good shots for the championship, especially Ross Chastain being in the top 3. And really, the top 3 kind of had a good bubble, essentially, between them and the rest of the guys for points, as far as kind of being safe and not having to win to get in. They both made it through the round of 16 to the round of 12. Unfortunately, the round of 12 saw them have their worst race as an organization. They went to the Roval for the cutoff race for the round of 12 to see basically who would advance to the round of 8. Like I said, this was their worst performance of the season as an organization. Unfortunately, Ross Chastain finished 37th, and Daniel Suarez finished just ahead of him in 36th. That would that did eliminate Daniel Suarez from the championship playoffs, but Ross had enough of a gap basically between him and the next guy to qualify for the round of 8. And then we come to the biggest moment of the season. Ross Chastain at Martinsville. It's the cutoff race for the round of 8 to make it to the championship 4. Pretty much comes down between him and Denny Hamlin. Less than 5 laps to go. Ross is 2 or 3 points back of Denny Hamlin in points, knowing that he has to pass a couple more cars to get past Denny to get into that championship 4 race at Phoenix. Last lap, he comes through 1 and 2. His crew tells him, we need a couple more. There's not a car close enough for Ross to even try to make a normal pass on. They were full straightaway ahead of him. He didn't have a chance to pass them anyway, besides what we're now calling a hell melon, with him being nicknamed the Melon Man. This was his Hail Mary attempt. Give it all you got. We got to do what we got to do. Got to make it happen. See if I can get past these drivers or these other cars to get the points that I need to get in. Shifts into 5th gear, rides the outside wall all the way through 3 and 4, comes off of turn 4, ahead of the cars that he needs to be ahead of for points, as well as passing Denny Hamlin just before the line, solidifying himself into the championship 4. This was a replay that was played on every sports broadcast for that week. It was talked about on most major television broadcasts as far as news was concerned, especially with sports. Everybody was talking about this move, this video game move. But like I said, it got him into the championship 4, and this is what NASCAR is wanting. This is the bottom of the 9th, hitting a home run grand slam to win the game. You don't script these kind of events. This is something that NASCAR has been wanting, and NASCAR finally got. So congratulations to them on that. Championship race at Phoenix, unfortunately, was dominated by Joey Logano. Ross was able to finish as the second highest in the championship 4, bringing home second place in points with a total of 2 wins, 15 top 5s, and 21 top 10s. Daniel Suarez also finished in the top 10 in points with 10th place finish with 1 win, 6 top 5s, and 13 top 10s. To say this was a big jump for a second-year team, especially as a first-year 2-car team, is an understatement. This team did a tremendous job this season with getting the career wins, the first career wins for these 2 drivers, and first 3 wins for this organization as a whole. Both drivers will be back next season. I believe both of their crew chiefs are returning, so I don't see them really taking a step back or having that sophomore slump as people have talked about. I think Justin Marks is doing something incredible there. He's got Pitbull as a part co-owner of that team as well. They did say that Project 91 will be back next season. Again, like I said earlier, it's going to be focusing on international drivers, so we don't know who's going to drive it just yet. There are some rumors out there from a couple people with possibly Jimmy Johnson, but that was before his co-ownership or part ownership of Petty GMS, as well as a supercars driver or 2. So I do expect to see that team back. Justin Marks originally said they were going to kind of focus on the road course events, so I do anticipate to see them specifically for those races and maybe a couple other here and there, but not anywhere near a full schedule. I do see this team taking another step forward next season, getting multiple wins again, and both drivers contending for a playoff spot, if not both being in the playoffs. But that is basically everything I have for tonight, guys. I want to say, as always, thank you for tuning in. Thank you for following us, subscribing to our YouTube channel, liking us on Facebook. It really means a lot to me and the rest of the team when we see those notifications coming through. If you have any questions about any of the stuff that we've covered and any of the team reviews, definitely comment. We'll reply back to you guys as soon as we can if you have any questions. But this will be one of our last few episodes or videos, essentially content that's created this year. We're going to do one more team review. Justin Seeger is going to cover Team Penske, who won the championship, in a couple days for you guys. And then after that, that's pretty much going to be it for 2023 or 2022. Sorry, 2023, we're going to be hitting the floor running, starting with the Busch Clash at the Coliseum again, and then we'll cover every race until the end of the season. So I hope you guys continue to tune in every time we post content. Like I said, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, follow us on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter as well. We're on Twitter. So we'll see you guys.